What is your opinion, general opinion about tonight's game and your expectations from the second leg?
The team that wanted the draw got the draw. The team that wanted to win wasn't good enough to win. Of course, we were dominant. Of course, we had complete control of the game, but we faced a very defensive block with lots of players behind the ball, and we didn't have the creativity, we didn't have the speed, we didn't have the width to try to beat them. But it's open. It's open. I know they have fantastic quality. I know that to play in that stadium, of course, is a plus for them and a minus for us. But when the game starts, it's 0-0.
So 0-0, how would you assess the game, and what kind of game plan will Fenerbahçe have in the second leg?
I have no idea. I will start thinking about Kocaeli game. Benfica is after that. I have no idea. It was a very difficult game for both sides. One team clearly wanted the draw and got it. Another team wanted more, but was not able to. In the last part of the game, with one player more, we have no width, we have no speed to try to change the dynamic of the game. But you know, it was not a beautiful game, but it was a high-level football game.
How can you describe tonight's game in tactical, and what are your plans for the second leg?
Yeah, it was 90 minutes with good game strategy everywhere, from us, from our side, from Fenerbahçe's side. I think we did. We were the better team in the first 45 minutes. We changed Ivanovic to try to put one more man in front to try to win the game. But you know, we play with a tough opponent, the big manager that José Mourinho is, and after the 10 men, they tried to come with everything to try to score one goal, and we were clever to close the game.
How do we rate this performance and the result?
Yeah, we knew that will be the atmosphere like this and will be really aggressive. Yeah, I think we controlled the game in the first half. They didn't create so many opportunities. Yeah, we have to play a bit more attacking, and we have to be more aggressive and more creative in the attack. But I think for that game will be normal, and yeah, it was a difficult game, and we knew that.
Fenerbahçe was quite better at the second part of the match. What do you think Benfica needs to do at the second part, in the second leg?
I think it was not that big difference that they were better. The cost for us, the easy 3 yellow cards in the middle, and yeah, we didn't be the aggressive that we want. But yeah, I didn't feel that they create so many opportunities or they are much better. I think we have also some good opportunities, some good moments, but we couldn't score or to creative more that we want. And yeah, after the red card, it's normal that we go in a low block and we defend to take the 0-0 to go in the home game and fight for the Champions League there.
Brendan, only halfway in this tie, but I guess the reaction of the supporters suggests they feel it was a missed opportunity. Do you?
Yeah, I think when you play at home at this stage and at this level, then of course we want to take an advantage. We didn't do that, but I've also been here before. We've in a qualification game, and we drew 0-0 with Rosenborg here a few years back and went on and played really well in the away leg. So we're going to have to do that out there, and but we'll certainly need to play better than what we did in the first half. So the first half we were very passive and lacked belief and were slow, and yeah, everything that has been good in our game up until this point wasn't there. Second half was much better, but we just lacked that little bit of quality in the final third.
Can you put your finger on why that was, given the fact that you'd set the intention, you wanted that intensity, and given the magnitude of the game? Yeah, no, sometimes it happens. Sometimes you can overthink it. I mentioned that before. It's a big game, we know the consequence of it, but I expect us in the first half to be much cleaner and much better, with much more intensity in our game, and I just felt that we weren't thinking so much.
in the game. We were just in autopilot a little bit and lost the connections in the game and the speed. Didn't move well enough as a team. You know. So we had to correct that at half time, and we had a much better response right from the off in the second half, and then at the post and a couple of other little moments where we were close, but just, as I said, we just lacked that little bit of quality that you need to break them down.
Callum, a really disappointing evening, I guess, for you guys. Obviously, for the fans, we heard them at the end. What was lacking tonight in such an important game?
I think first half we never had enough intensity in the game. We're too slow, too passive with them without the ball, and that gives them, you know, a bit of encouragement in the game. It makes the place anxious, and then it sort of snowballs from there. But second half, you know, we started the half really well. We're on the front foot for the whole second half. We just lacked that bit of quality to get the goal to open the game up. But listen, we've still got another game, so you know it's 0-0 in the tie. We never lost, so we have to go there next week and win, and that's no problem.
Can you put your finger on why it took that 45 minutes to get up to that to the speed of the game? Given again the magnitude of this, the manager said he wanted to start this game with intensity, and that's not what happened. Yeah. Well, of course we start with the best intentions. We try and go out there and dominate the game, but sometimes it doesn't look like that. They were a wee bit man to man. You know, give us a spare centre back, and then it's stepping through and trying to connect the game, but. You know, we were a little bit too wide. We got ourselves stuck on the side of the pitch, and then you got to dribble back and start again. So you know the connections weren't quite there to get us through the sort of middle part of the game, and that's what slowed it down. That's what gave them momentum in the game. It was too slow, and then second half, like I said, much more like ourselves. But you know we have to try and do that from the start of the game, and it's not the result or the performance that we want, but we still have another game, and now it's on us to go there and qualify.
Nicky, you take a 2-goal lead into the second leg. How pleased can you be with that result tonight?
Very pleased with the result. Also very pleased with the first half that we played over here. I think we dominated completely the first half. And okay, you know, when you're leading 3-0 half time, you know the opponent will take all the risks and will go play 1v1. And we knew that if they could score in the first 5 minutes of the second half, the fans will still be behind the team. And this was exactly what happened.
What's the approach now to the game next week at your ground?
Just play the same game what we showed first half, and we have to be aware that they can take a lot of risk also in the return game, and this is something that we have to be aware of. But we just have to believe in our game, and we just have to finish it either how good or bad the game is.
Well, it's been a great start to the season for you. How confident are you your team can compete at the highest level in Europe this season?
We're still growing as a team, so also in the league it's not always the top level that we have. Sometimes we play average games, but yeah, you see in the first half that when we have a lot of confidence, we can play really good football, and we find the spaces, we create chances, we don't give much chances away. But if an opponent doesn't have anything to lose anymore, then we get more in trouble, and this is something that we have to solve.
Russell, a really tough night for Rangers. How do you reflect on this evening?
Well, we have two mad moments, the goals we concede early on, and then that changes the whole feeling of the game. Then we make so many decisions out of anxiety. We don't react well as a club to them two goals going in. It's a really difficult time for the guys on the pitch. Then we concede again because the anxiety in the group is big. But I'm really proud of the second half. The game's not over for me, the tie's not over. I'm really proud of the level of aggression, composure, resilience we showed in the second half. The fans were really brilliant in the second half, really behind the team. The energy was completely different. So I'm really proud of them for that, because that wasn't easy. And the second half, I enjoyed the performance, and I think that's as hard as it will ever be for a lot of them players on the pitch to get through that, to respond in the way they did. They're going to grow a huge amount from that.
When you go 2 goals down within 7 minutes, what does that do to your game plan? What are you thinking then?
Well, you can't impact it from the sideline. So the game plan doesn't change because you put the game plan in place to try and win a game that you think will work. But what does change is the decision making because of the anxiety in the players. So there's times we're jumping because we're so anxious, we think we need to get back in the game, and just far too open, and that wasn't the game plan. The second half, we didn't change very much. That was the game plan, really. We moved the ball much better, way more aggressive, more competitive, and looked to threat, and they ran really hard for each other, and I'm really proud of the guys for that.
Yes, I told the guys that if you look at their team celebrating, they've already think they've won the game. So if that's not a motivation for you already, I've been in football a long time. I know that it can change quickly. So there has to be motivation for the guys. Yeah, I wouldn't say the first half we controlled. We looked okay. We had some chances. In terms of possession, they had more possession because they're a very, very good technical team, as you can see. I think the big loss for us was Benfica in the middle of the park getting injured. If you look at the real sixes that we have, Julio, Habib, and now Benfica, 3 real number 6s that can stay there. So that was a big loss for us. So, and then the 2 goals he scored, one was from a throw-in that we should have never got inside the box. 4 against 1, and then edge of the box to finish, and then one was from a set piece. So you don't mind if they pass you through you like the last goal they scored, but to concede like this is disappointing.
Yeah, I agree. We knew that we needed to be strong in defense. We needed to try to their football, try to make them uncomfortable. We were lucky in our first action we scored. And after we have a few more chances, but I think the result has been fair. We knew that they will try to keep the ball, to keep the possession with their fans, and we will have chances enough to try to score goals. We were clinical in some of them. We had another clear chances, but I think has been, as I said before, a fair result, but it's still 50% of the job done.